One warm afternoon, a man named Ray Doyle drives his teenage son Toby out to Luna Bay, the beach where Ray grew up. The kid is nervous because he skipped school, and his mother Helen is going to hear about it. Helen is also Ray's ex-wife. Ray tells him to relax and enjoy the waves. Before they hit the water, Ray calls a real estate broker named Gavin, an old friend of his. Surfing is not the only thing on the agenda. Ray wants to buy back the house that belonged to his late father before it was sold off years ago. The problem is another buyer is circling the same property. Gavin gives him a window. Pay cash, beat the rival offer, and the house is his. He has 2 days to find the money, and Gavin will come to Luna Bay in person to close the deal. Then the movie drops a strange detail. Right after that call, we cut to a filthy, ragged version of Ray standing alone in the trees nearby. Something is already off. The trouble starts the second he tries to get in the water. A local shoulders past him and tells him to leave. A huge guy called Pitbull warns him off. Then the leader shows up, a man in a red hoodie called Scally, who runs the pack of local surfers known as the Bay Boys. Luna Bay belongs to locals. Outsiders do not swim here, and they definitely do not surf here. Ray insists he grew up on this beach. Scally does not care, but this was only the beginning. This is the surfer. Ray gives up on surfing and tells Toby about the plan to buy back Grandpa's old house so they can stay there together. The kid just wants to go home. So Ray drops him off, drives back to Luna Bay, and calls Gavin again, asking for help getting a bank loan. Gavin, being an actual friend, tells him to let the house go. Ray refuses. A co-worker calls to pressure him about showing up at the office tomorrow. Then he spots the Bay Boys harassing a homeless man who lives out of a battered red car in the lot. His name is Arthur. When Ray gets close, the young surfers shove him around and spit at him. Then Helen calls with the thing that really breaks him. She wants the divorce papers signed because she is pregnant with her new partner's child and they are getting married. That is when we learn why the house matters so much. Ray once promised Helen they would live at Luna Bay someday. That night, the Bay Boys hang around their beach shack. Ray buys a pizza, sets it on the roof of his car while he fills his water bottle, and turns back to find the pizza on the ground and his surfboard gone. He storms over to the shack to confront them. One of the kids jumps him, the rest start smashing bottles into weapons, and he backs off and calls the police to report assault and theft. He sleeps in his car and wakes up to a cop knocking on his window. The man introduces himself as Officer Warren, and he promises to handle Scally and get the board back. Ray trades his sunglasses to Arthur for binoculars so he can watch the shack from a distance. Arthur starts talking, and what he says matters later. Scally's real name is Scott Kean, and the two of them were friends here as kids. Arthur warns that Scally is dangerous, that his grandfather stole most of the land on this coast, and that the Bay Boys brainwashed Arthur's own son, Danny, into joining them before the boy disappeared. He thinks Danny was murdered. That boy was a gifted surfer who once won a shark-tooth necklace as a prize. Arthur also says the Bay Boys killed his dog. Ray finally walks up to get his board back and finds it nailed to the shack as a sign. Scally claims it has been hanging there for years. Warren happily believes him, which pretty much confirms whose side he is on. He shoves Ray away and warns him to stop poking at the Bay Boys because Scally's family runs this coast. Then the day falls apart. His car battery is dead because he ran the air conditioning all night, so he is stranded. The public tap has been fouled with filth. He catches his reflection and sees a grimy, worn-out man who looks exactly like Arthur, as if he is staring at his own future. Not long after, hiding in the toilet, he watches Arthur stash a red plastic bundle on top of the bathroom wall, then steal his shoes, jacket, and wallet. By now, he is the punching bag of the whole beach. His car gets tagged with graffiti, and he steps on broken glass. Then a woman named Cassie shows up to take pictures. She jump-starts his battery and snaps a photo of him, standing next to his car. Remember that photo? Instead of driving away, he stays and keeps watching the Bay Boys. He walks up to a coffee stand run by a man named Marlon, but his phone is dead and he has cards, no cash. He asks to charge the phone and pay once it turns on. Marlon wants collateral and takes the watch off his wrist, the watch his late father gave him. While they argue, a customer behind him knocks his coffee to the ground, and of course that customer is another Bay Boy. 2 French surfers arrive next. Ray tries to warn them off, they ignore him, and the Bay Boys beat them bloody. Then the coffee stand shuts down with his phone, and watch still inside. So he uses a payphone to set up a callback from Gavin at 9 the next morning. He watches the French couple flee, and for a second the woman looks exactly like his ex-wife. That night, he grabs a lug wrench and sneaks up on the shack to take his board back. What he walks in on is not a gang hangout. It looks like a cult initiation, with new members getting branded by a symbol of 3 wavy lines burned into their skin.
To acknowledge that every man up there, but it comes.
He tries to grab the board, a guard dog bites him, and the Bay Boys chase him off with rocks. He passes out behind the trees. He wakes up to an empty parking lot. Every car is gone, including his. His phone and watch are locked in the coffee stand. He has no money, and now he has no vehicle. When he reports the theft, Warren tells him he is hallucinating, that his car was the beat-up red wreck all along. That wreck is Arthur's car. The gaslighting is now in full swing. It gets stranger. A sales agent is showing the father's house to another buyer, and the agent has never heard of Gavin and has never heard of Ray. Marlon does not recognize him either, insists the watch on his wrist was a gift from his own father, and says no phone was ever left there. Then 3 Bay Boys mug him and take his wedding ring. When Gavin finally calls the payphone, the kids cut the cable and the line dies. Everybody laughs at him. Out of options, Ray searches Arthur's car. He finds newspaper clippings about the missing son, a single bullet on the front seat, and the shark-toothed necklace the boy won. He pockets the bullet and the necklace and notices a crack in the windshield that looks a lot like a bullet hole. Meanwhile, a wealthy family strolls onto the beach and plays in the water freely, waved right through by the same locals who have been torturing him for 2 days. Scally comes over with an offer: soda, a hamburger, and watermelon on one condition: eat, leave Luna Bay, and never come back. Ray refuses. Scally brings up his father, who was found dead on this beach when Ray was 15, and says it is sad to see him reduced to a homeless man living in a wreck, talking about a fancy car and money that never existed. Ray still will not leave. He is so thirsty now that he digs a container out of the trash and drinks murky water from a filthy sink. The Bay Boys harass him while he sleeps, and he has to kill a rat that bites him. The next morning, he goes for the red plastic bundle Arthur hid on the bathroom wall. Inside is a pistol with 4 rounds and 2 empty chambers. He loads the bullet he found and test fires it once. He nearly shoots the Bay Boy's dog, but the memory of how his father died on this beach stops him, and he puts the gun back. Starving, he drinks from puddles, almost eats the dead rat, and survives on a few bird eggs. He wanders among the rich beachgoers, rambling about his broker and the life he planned with Helen, and everyone backs away, because at this point he genuinely looks like a vagrant. Then he runs into Cassie again and asks to see the picture she took. And there it is, his car, exactly as he remembered it. He starts laughing, because it proves everyone has been lying to him. She gives him water and lets him call Gavin from her phone. The news kills it anyway. The loan fell through and the house is gone. She feels sorry for him and tells him to let it go, that maybe he was never meant to live at Luna Bay. That is the moment he snaps. He rips the wooden locals' only sign out of the sand and smashes it into Pitbull. The Bay Boys pile in to stop him, and then they start taking care of him. Here is the twist. The entire ordeal was a test. Before an outsider is allowed to buy a house at Luna Bay, join the community, and surf these waves, the locals put him through hell to see if he breaks. Scally's logic is that it keeps out the tourists who trash the beach and the rich who exploit it. And the Bay Boys are not just thugs. Most of them have real careers. One is a doctor, and he treats Ray. Pitbull is a senior bank official who can actually arrange the purchase of the father's house. And Warren was never a cop at all. He is a mechanic, and he fixes Ray's car for free. When Ray comes to, everything is returned. His phone, his watch, his wedding ring, his wallet. Outside, the Bay Boys hold a ceremony and brand the 3 wavy lines onto his right arm. And then everyone gets high together. The next day, Ray asks about Arthur's son and the dog. Danny quit the Bay Boys on his own, without telling his father, became a drug addict, and ended up in a rehab home. He got into a fight there, hit his head on a curb, and died. Scally told Arthur all of this, but the old man refused to believe it and accused him of paying someone to kill the boy. As for the dog, Scally admits he killed it to drive Arthur off the beach, because in his eyes, Arthur failed as a father. There is one last test before Ray is allowed in the water. He has to burn Arthur's car so the old man can finally let go of his dead son. Ray refuses at first since that car is all the memories the man has left, but Scally dangles the house in front of him. The Bay Boys douse the wreck in gasoline, and Ray lights it.
Welcome.
Right at that moment, Toby shows up, worried because his dad's phone has been off for days. Ray tells him to go home, because he does not want the boy going through what he just went through. But Scally announces that Ray passed, that the kid is welcome too, and that the father's house is officially his thanks to Pitbull. They can swim and surf Luna Bay whenever they want now. And then Arthur walks up, holding the red bundle with the pistol inside, watching the last of his son's memories burn. He orders every Bay Boy to kneel and confess who killed his dog, even forcing one of them to bark. He still blames Scally for Danny's death. Ray begs him to let the kid go, but Arthur sends everyone away except Ray, Toby, and Scally. Ray tries to talk him down, telling him he understands the rage, that it comes from losing his son and now losing the last thing tied to the boy. Then Arthur presses the gun to Toby's head. Ray holds up the shark-tooth necklace he took from the car. Arthur sees his son's prize, breaks down, and lets them both walk away. Father and son head straight for the water. Behind them, Arthur shoots Scally dead, then turns the gun on himself. And as Ray hears it happen, he remembers his own father, who did exactly the same thing on this exact beach. And that is where the movie leaves him. So the moral of the story is never trust a beach that gives you a free house after emotionally, financially, mentally, and spiritually ruining your entire life first.